Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And as always, I would like to give double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of quick and important information being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Kurdish protesters run amok in Paris following deadly shooting. As you see right there, there's been a lot of protests going on. You got protests going on in Athens, Greece over the cost of living crisis. You got protests going on in Paris over the cost of living prices. You got protests going on in many different parts of Europe over, the energy crisis that is going on, because many people out down there are freezing without any heat. You got protests that are going on in Bangladesh. You got protests that are going on in Germany. And everybody, there's so many protests going on. People protesting, because they want better wages. The whole world is in a state of mourning. Why? Because the wicked is in rulership. And like the scriptures tell you, when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So the latest protests that's broken out is right here with the Kurdish. Okay, and this protest broke out prior to a deadly shooting that took place. So these protesters are running amok, meaning these protesters are getting violent. So here it says several French police officers have been injured during clashes with protesters who vandalized bus stops and overturned cars. So people are angry at how the world is being ruled and managed, and they are desiring change, which that change is going to come. It's going to come via the New World Order, which is going to be the so-called elites way of implementing change. And nothing good is coming out of that New World Order. Okay, the New World Order is not for the benefit of you people, but for the benefit of the so-called elites. So just when you think that everything is finally going back to normal, you're going to find out that, what you've long desired for, which is this false sense of freedom, that's going to lead only to you being enslaved and trapped into a super wicked demonic society called the New World Order. So we come over here and go to 2nd Esdras chapter 15 verse. I'm going to just get straight to the point. So hurry up. 2nd Esdras 15 verse 16. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men." What is a sedition? A sedition is a uprising or a rebellion against the government. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing uprises and rebellion against the government. And an example of uprises or rebellions against the government are protests, rallies, riots. These are all seditions. So what we're seeing here is Bible prophecy playing out. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. They're not going to regard the presidents or the lower operatives that operate through the government. They're not going to regard the policemen. They're not going to regard any of those things. And of course, their actions shall stand in their power. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom is on to the next one.